Let's go through C-style string rather than going through the C-style string model and solve a problem. Now going through this problem here as to how do you find a C string's length. But let's just go through kind of the logic, from a very high level and take it from there. So note that we're dealing with C-style string, okay? C string, not C++ string, but C string. So we can declare a C string like so. Let's say char C, right? And this is arrayed notation, and simply just assigned a double quoted string to it. So this is available in C, okay? In C++, this would have been different. You would have used a string class instead, right? C equals, right? Same thing here. We're not talking about C++, we're talking about C, okay? And notice that the difference between the two is the C-style string actually has a null terminator at the end, which you don't see here. So if we were to write out this hello right here into our arrayed box right here, the first one is H, second one is E, right? And then we have L, L, O. There's actually a invisible null terminator at the end. Okay, this null terminator is the same as pretty much just like this is 0. So that's what we have for this, and this thing is C. Okay, so we turn this identifier C, and which is the name of that variable C that we declare as on the stack here. Question is, how do you find a C string's length? Okay, so when we're looking at the length, we're interested, obviously not counting the very last one. Okay, so we don't really count this. So we simply count the number of characters that we have in this entire string, which is HELLO. There should be 5 of them, right? So the answer is 5. So the very first approach that we can use is a strlength. Strlength is a C function. This is a part of C string, so you do a pound include C string, or alternatively, you can use string.h. So this is the old way of writing this. Includes to use string.h. Okay, so this is very different from this thing, right? String without an h at the end. You probably see this. This is in C++. Okay, we're not talking about C++ string here. We're talking about C string. So that said, you would use C string, right? With no .h, right? Or you can use pound include string.h. Both of these will take care of the availability of strlength. So how many iterations do you need to get that length information? Obviously, we can write a for loop, right? Iterate through these. So this is 5 iterations, right? That way, basically at every single iteration, you're checking to see if the next one is actually this, right? This 0. And then you iterate 5 times. So this is what we call O of n's, right? N is the length of a string, length of a C string, okay? Now we're talking about the length of the C string, or not the size, okay? Size includes the very last byte, which is at 0, but we don't. With respect to C string, we just count the number of characters. This is a little bit more advanced. It's part of your data structure studies, which basically tells you how efficient it is to assess, the solution from memory and also speed perspective. It's a little more advanced. Like I said, if you're interested in reading into, there is a big O notation Wikipedia chapter on this. This O of n simplifies. So n is actually 5 in this case, right? Because there's only 5 characters in there. This gives computer scientists a way of gauging how efficient your solution is. In this case, is O of 5. Or O of n in this case, in terms of the speed. Okay, memory is not as much because we're dealing with only one pointer that sort of keeps track, right, or the counter to keep track of this this number in terms of the C string's length.